guys? It's your girl Dupre, and I'm back with another video. I do not want to talk about my hair or the current situation of my hair. I am going somewhere that I will talk about during this video, and you guys will understand why I did my hair like this. But it was my first time ever attempting twists, and I don't feel like it's the worst, but I also feel like it could be a whole lot better. So we're living with this current situation for another week and a half, and it is what it is, and we are moving on. So I have to leave here in like 45 minutes because did my sponge just fall? I feel like yeah, it did, and it went all the way over here. I'm celebrating my nephew's birthday with my fam, so I just thought we would do a little chit chatty, get ready with me situation, and just like call it a day. So I'm not doing anything too extravagant, but I will say that I think today I want to do my eyes first, because that's just how I've been feeling. So I think we're gonna do my eyes first. I think we have a little time, and I am so hungry, you guys, like you don't understand. I'm not wearing this shirt out, but whenever I seem to put on the shirt I want to wear out and I put like do my makeup with the shirt on, I always end up getting makeup on it, which is funny because when I'm wearing a shirt I don't care about, I'm like not getting makeup on it. So I find that actually quite hilarious. Today I'm going to work in this palette, Pricked, the Jeffree Star palette. I never made a video on this, but I actually bought this along with some of his like lipsticks from this collection. And since my hair is like this chocolatey brownie color, if you can see, I just thought like, why not? So it's going to be my first time actually trying this palette. And we're just gonna go in using that. So sorry that my uploads have been slowed down or stalled lately. I have a few things recorded, so hopefully I'll get around to editing those. But I have just been running amok crazy with my job. For those of you who haven't been keeping up with me and are clicking on this video, I started a new job a couple of months ago, like maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago now. And I am the GM of an Asian fusion restaurant, and it has been hard because I'm actually going on a work trip. So let's just get into specifics here, okay? I applied to be an assistant general manager for an upcoming juice place, and I was recruited from like a recruitment agency, and like they didn't tell me what the name of the place was, and they said sometimes this is because they do this sometimes, like if they're looking to push somebody out, or if like the place hasn't opened yet, or like things like this. It's like a confidentiality situation. So I applied for a juice place, right? So I go for the interview, and the guy tells me that this place isn't open yet, that it will be opening, and he's looking for an assistant general manager there. And then it turned into, well, why don't you just be the general manager? And then it turned to, well, it's not opening until April, so why don't you just like GM my other restaurant that's right next door, so that way like you can just be the GM of both restaurants, and you'll already have a training in the store I already have established, so by the time this juice place opens, which I guess I could say the name, but I'm not gonna say it just for security purposes. But it already has a banner saying that it's coming soon, so people already know it's coming. But so then he was like, you know, just be the GM of both restaurants. So it went from me being the assistant general manager of a juice store to now I'm gonna be the general manager of both stores. So right now I've been managing the store that's already been open, that has been open for quite some time. And since we're going on a work trip for this place, because he's a franchise owner, we have to go to a location of this franchise is going to be opening, because it's not opening in April like he was saying. It's now not opening until like the first week of June, basically. Let me just zoom you guys in. So since it's not opening until the first week of June, this is taking a real orangey route when I was planning on taking a different route. But you know what? We're gonna go with it. We're just gonna live our truth. So we have to go on this trip to, I'm going to California in 2 days. So it's Saturday while I'm filming this. I'll be in California on Monday, flying out there. And I'm gonna be there for 8 days training, and then I will be back. And while I'm on this trip, I'm missing my nephew's birthday, Easter, and my stepdad's birthday. So my nephew's birthday is the day after I'll be leaving. So my sister was like, why don't we just all have dinner and a movie now, and like kind of celebrate it now. Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call from my pet sitter. So all I did was go in with this shade in the crease, and then I just deepened it up with this shade, and I mixed. Did I mix it? No, ma'am, I did not. I just deepened it up with this shade, and now I'm probably gonna go in with this dark brown shade. So yeah, so I'm going on this trip to California, and I'm kind of not looking forward to it, because literally the day we're like, I'm getting up like 2 o'clock in the morning. We're taking a 5 a.m. flight. And then as soon as we drop down, we're not going to a hotel, nothing. We're going straight to the location to start training, to start having an 11-hour training day. And then I'm going to the hotel. And like, they forgot that they were closed on Easter when they scheduled us. So now I have to work 11 hours a day instead of 10, and then spend Easter alone, well, with my boss, which, I mean, he's a cool guy, but just like, do you know what I mean? Why is everybody calling me right now? Hello?
Hey.
Hey.
I just wanted to call and make sure we're still meeting at the theater in about an hour.
Yep, I'm gonna leave her in about like 30 minutes and get mom, and I have to wrap Micah's present, and then I'll see you over there.
Okay. Alright, then I'll see you in about an hour.
Alright.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my god, everybody and their fucking mama is calling me. So anyways, so we're gonna be training there. I'm sort of excited, but like also, like I said, it's just gonna be like a lot of work all at once, and I just know I'm gonna be like physically exhausted and like long physically. But I'm kind of a little annoyed because when he hired me, he said this place was gonna be opening in April. My birthday is in June, for those of you who don't know. I'm a Gemini, and I had hoped, so then he pushed it the first week of May, and I had told him how I wanted to take off like at least my birthday and maybe another day, because I was trying to plan like this whole like spa girls night, like little overnight trip to like a little spa hotel situation, get massages, drink mimosas, you know, things like that. And now he's saying June 9th, and he's saying, oh, I don't know, it's gonna be a tight squeeze. Like, well, it wasn't supposed to be a tight squeeze because you were supposed to be open 2 months before then, sir. So a little irritated on that front. I'm not gonna go too much darker. I think I'm gonna stop here, or maybe, yeah, because I feel like that's actually as deep as this palette gets, TBH. I might take one deep brown from the Jaclyn Hill. I think I'm gonna take Jaclyn Hill palette and just deepen up like this brown probably. So anyways, so, and then the day I come back, so I'm coming back the 19th at 3 a.m. So like we're flying out the 18th, I'll be back the 19th at 3 a.m. And Chester, my cat, is getting fixed 5 hours later. At 8 a.m. I have to be at the vet to get my Kiki's nuts cut off. And I'm just like, can I get a break? Because she was like, oh, I went to the vet yesterday for my animals, and she was like, for both of them, for Oreo and Chester at the same time. She was like, oh yeah, if you want to get them fixed, like we should book now because we're like months out. And then she's like, oh, well, I can squeeze them in a night. Okay, so then you're not months out. Like, I was like, okay, let's get it now, because I want to get it done before he gets too old, and before you know, his things get too big and it's too painful. And first I had to get him up to date on his shots because I hadn't taken him to the vet at all. I got him when he was a baby. So I did, I went, that's why I went yesterday to get the rest of his shots that he needed. He needed like a booster shot or something. And then I got Oreo a shot for, I think it's called acetaminophen. I don't know. I could be wrong. Cytos? I don't know. It's like an allergy shot for dogs because Oreo has been like biting and nibbling at his paws. And, you know, it could be a lot of things. It could be anxiety. It could be a skin condition. So she was like, well, let's try this so that way I'll know that if he is still biting his paws, that it's not an allergy. It's something else. So, but if he does stop biting his paws, then it was an allergy, and then I'll just know to keep getting him the allergy shot, and it will help him be a little bit more comfortable. So that's happening, and I've just been really stressed lately because I'm working like 55 hours a week trying to plan 2 weeks ahead because like essentially I won't be at work the 9th through the 21st, but I'll be gone like the 11th through the 19th or the 10th through the 19th basically. So it's just like, I don't know, it's just a lot. Why are these dry? That's a little sus. I don't understand why these are dry, these wipes. Like they've been completely covered up. If you ever have dry wipes, you can literally spray setting spray or water and it will literally activate it, just so you guys know. And this chair too, you guys, I need like a new chair. I need like a whole lot. This chair always is like, just like slowly sinking down. I don't understand why. It's like really annoying actually. Okay, for primer, I'm just gonna go in with this because it's what I have up here. The Milk Hydro Grip. It's nothing new. We've been here. We've done that. I hope you guys liked my story. I think we're gonna call it story fine time because it is fine time because I'm getting thick and juicy and getting adorable putting my makeup on. But I'm also telling you guys, you know, a story time of what has been going on with me. I'm a little pressed because my tried and true peach concealer has ran out, but the Ulta spring haul is in full effect. Now, I'm a little scarred from Ulta.com personally because during their fall haul, I'm just gonna go in with what I have. So I'm just gonna go in with ABH because I love this. So I went and placed like a $200+ order on Ulta during their fall haul because I really ball out the fall hauls, especially the fall hauls because there's more like drugstore. I mean, spring hauls is dope too, but the fall haul is basically the one time a year where like I will ball out. Like I will spend $300, $400 and stock up and buy like 5 lotions and like stock up on my Bliss pumpkin mask I tell you guys about because it's always on sale then, and like all these other things. So I placed an order and it said it was delivered, but it wasn't. And I don't live in an area where packages get stolen. I've never once had this issue before. Like I will left and gone out for like the whole weekend and had a package literally sitting down by the mail area or by my apartment door for like days and nobody will touch it. So I know nobody stole my package unless he sent it to the wrong address, which has happened a couple times, especially from Amazon. Well, they're like, they'll like drop off at like the building next to me, so I have to like go get it. But it's super annoying, and I didn't want a refund because if I were to rebuy those things, I would have paid more money because I got everything on sale. And so I was like waiting and waiting for stuff to get shipped out, and then they kept notifying me like, yeah, you can get it, but now this is sold out, and yeah, you can get it, but now that is sold out. And I'm like, oh my god. So I was telling them, I was like, yo, can you give me a refund, but is there any way I can keep my points, because this is not my fault. Like at this point it had been like 3 weeks. I hadn't gotten any updates if it was getting sent out. They had nobody else to transfer me to, allegedly, and they were saying it was taking so long because my order was so big. If anything, that's more Like, that should be more top priority. Like, I spend so much money and I'm gonna be way more upset than somebody who spent $20. Do you know what I mean? So Ulta.com has left a bad taste in my mouth because the girl told me she would refund me and I could keep my points, because it was also like what they're doing now, where it was like spring haul and quadruple the amount of points. So I was getting so much more points, and I was trying to save up my points to get like this perfume of mine that I will never pay full price of, because it's over $100. It's really a cologne. It's the Chanel Blue Cologne. It's my favorite ever. Like, that's the first perfume I've ever like worn, like used a whole bottle of. Like, when I worked at Ulta, I would like snatch all the samples of Chanel Blue, and I finally like, and this is with 25% off. I still wasn't paying full price. I was still waiting for it to go on sale. I love how I completely skipped putting on a lid shade, and y'all just didn't even like tell me. Like, I love how we completely just like said, no, we're fine with like a lid shade, and went straight to foundation. Like, I love that for myself. I'm just going in with this beautiful gold shade in the palette. It's actually really gorgeous. Because apparently I didn't put a shade on my lid. So anyways, so I have everything added to my cart for Ulta. And I will check out later. But the point was that the concealer is now on sale. Instead of it being $3.99, which is already cheap, it's $2.99. So I'm gonna buy like 2 or 3 of them and stock up. But I actually haven't bought, aside from me getting the BoxyCharm boxes, which I have not told you guys I get BoxyCharm. I've been debating if I'm gonna do videos and continue BoxyCharm. But aside from the BoxyCharm boxes and that one Lunar Beauty mystery box, I actually have not bought like any makeup like since the year has started, honestly. I mean, I buy things here and there, like that Jaclyn Hill palette. I haven't bought anything from Jeffree Star, like not even his skin launch, not even Beauty Killer 2 yet. I'm trying to get a car, as you guys know from my tea spilling video. My car was repossessed, so I'm saving to get a new one right now, which I will have by the end of the month. And then once that happens, I will start buying again, because I'm actually going to get a raise once the juice place opens. And when I come back from my trip, I'm gonna start working 60 hours a week. So normally I work 50 hours a week. I asked him could I start working 60, because he said when the juice place opens, I'll probably be there like 70 hours a week. So I want to start getting my body acclimated instead of jumping to a 20-hour difference in how long I'll be on my feet and active and awake and whatever. I want to sort of like ramp up. So now that I know it's opening in June, maybe I will start with like 55 hours a week, and then 60 hours a week, and then 65, and then that way 70 won't be so harsh on my body physically, and it won't be so stressful mentally. So I think it's a good plan. But when I am gone, I will place that order to get some stuff. So probably there might be an Ulta haul in our future very soon. Because honestly, to be honest with you guys, I don't even shop at Sephora anymore. I'm only an insider now. I used to be VIB. Like, I used to always be VIB at Sephora and always be Diamond at Ulta, just because like I worked there and everything. But I haven't even bought anything from Sephora since the year started, I think. Well, no, I did buy those 2 like odds and ends things. But now that like Fenty's at Sephora and all the brands that I mean, now that Fenty's at Ulta and like all these other brands, and like I think Milk Cosmetics is now coming to Ulta, there's really no need for me to shop in Sephora. And their point system is, well, their sales are trash. Ulta has way better sales. Sephora, 10% off. Like, you'd have to spend so much money for that to acclimate to anything, because I can just use points and get $10 off, which unless I'm spending over $100, is a way better deal than 10%. So I need to get that together. I'm just like been stressed lately, and with like just, I've never been a general manager at a store before. I mean, it's always something I knew I could do. My sister has been a general manager. She's been my boss before, and I know that if she can do it, like, you know, I could do it, because we're cut from the same cloth. But it is hard, but it's rewarding. This is the most amount of money I've ever made in my life, and I'm gonna be making more very soon with the hours. And the way he sets it up is way different. So like at my other store that I went to, the one that was a piece of trash, and also was really, I never spoke about this in my tell all story time, but that store, the way I was treated at that store was so bad for me mentally. Like, it sent me in a really dark mental health place. I was spending so much money on alcohol, which I have never done before a day in my life. Like, I'm not a drinker. I'll tell you guys right now, I smoke. Here in Indiana, Delta 8 is legal, and I smoke Delta 8, Delta 10. Like, all Delta is legal here. So I smoke legal Delta here. It's not like anywhere else where, like Illinois, where like there's dispensaries like marijuana, but there is Delta 8 and Delta 10 and like waxes and things like that. So I smoke legally now. But I've never smoked so much and drank so much in my life. Like, I'm somebody who I have to, when I work, like, I don't smoke. Like, I know other people who can be high 24/7 and get their job done, and like that takes a special skill set, in my opinion. I do not have that skill set. I have to be at work sober. Like, I can't be under the influence of anything, because it's hard for me to, you know, do my job and focus. And there are so many moving parts when you're a manager. Maybe if I was just like cooking food or just doing this, but even then there is just so many things that you have to be aware of, and other people, and just like so many different factors that we have to be aware of when we're at work, that I just personally have to be sober. But when I was working at that place, you guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, a couple times I did smoke before I went to work, because it was just so hard on me mentally. I had never worked with such a negative group of people before. Like, the waitresses were just rude beyond belief, like had absolutely no respect. And the same for like everybody. The kitchen people were just rude. The cashiers were okay because they were like younger people, but even then they were like gossipers and like would make stupid dumb mistakes because they're like kids, basically. Like, some of them were kids. And it just was like just not good for me mentally. I felt like I was in school, like high school, and like I was dealing with like the mean girl table. Like, that's how I felt. Even with the general manager there, I feel like she was very rude to me, and I just feel like I didn't fit in well there. And also, like, the deal I was on salary for whatever. It didn't matter if I worked 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours, 100 hours. I was going to get paid the same. Here at the job I'm at now, I'm on salary for 50 hours. And then after that, my salary is broken down into an hourly rate. And then it shows up as like a bonus. So I have the potential to make as much money as I want to, basically. I could be working 70 hours a week right now. I'm choosing not to. I also am somebody who's like doesn't want to take advantage of those type of situations, and I don't want to be there if I'm not needed. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'll cut out early if I know I'm gonna go over 50 because it's dead, and it's like, so why do you need me here if I made the schedule already? Oh, I forgot to set the rest of my face, so it made this line. Oh no. Oh no. So I like this job a lot better. Like, my boss will back me up. As like, compared to over there where like I would sort of get backed up and sort of get agreed with, but then like for example, I'll tell you guys an example, which I probably said in that story time. I got into an argument with this one server who is known to be an asshole. I'm a jackass. And I told him he was acting like an asshole after he like told me to use my brain, after he like was spitting out all these disrespectful, cussing at me, yelling at me, like things that you don't do to a manager. And I brought it up to both of the managers, like my coworker who was another assistant manager and the GM, and they all agreed with me and all said he was an asshole and all said this and all said that. And then all of a sudden the district manager came in and I'm written up for using a cuss word at an employee who like literally cussed his whole life away at me. And the GM was like next to him when he was like doing it and like agreeing with him. And I just feel like if I brought up to you what happened before this guy did and told you what I said, and if you knew that it was like, oh, you shouldn't do that or whatever, I feel like then is your time to be like, yeah, you're right, he is a piece of trash, but also you shouldn't have, you know, this, that, and the third. And that's not what I got. It was very phony. It was very fake over there. And it made me depressed. And having that guy stay here also like made me depressed because I didn't have my own space and I couldn't really clean my house because I had like this weird mental block, which is not on him. That's 100% on me. But it was a bad time and I'm in such a better space. Like I was eating like bad food. Like I was just such in a bad mental space. Like going to the liquor store, I'm talking about spending $50 on alcohol like twice a week. Like this is where my money was going. Like I was getting drunk. I was getting high all the time because my roommate was getting high all the time. Like it just was not a good time for me overall. And I was in a very, very dark mental space. And the minute I switched to this job, I mean, it's just like comparing apples and oranges. Like they're both fruits, but they both give you two different things at the end of the day. And I'm more of an apple lover. I don't know about you guys. And where I work at now, there's the brightest, greenest, most ripe green apples. You know what I mean? Like he backs me up. He validates how I'm feeling and agrees with me. And if he doesn't agree with me, he offers constructive feedback, not negative feedback, but constructive feedback, and gives me ways to better myself and gives me tips to be a better manager and be better at like handling stress and communicating and doing all of these things. And this guy is always late. This guy's messaging saying that he's late. He's always late. So, I mean, it's stressful in a sense of like, I feel like sometimes I'm running a daycare. You're saying the same thing over and over again to people who apparently can't retain the information because they don't care about the job as much as you do. Nobody's going to care about the job as much as, you know, the management does and the owner does at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, they can always find a new job. Like, but this is sort of like my boss's baby and I take that responsibility, you know, with me, and I care about it and he cares about it and I care about it. And it's just so much better. It's so much better. And I can't wait for this juice place to open. And when I come back from Cali, I'm going to do a mental reset and, focus on my eating habits, I mean, my eating habits now aren't the worst, and the food I work with now is way healthier than the food I had at the other place, because most of my food was coming out of a fryer at the other place, whereas this food is like grilled chicken breast and like broccoli, you know what I mean? So in that kind of sense, it's way better and healthier, and the atmosphere and the people there are just so much more nice. I mean, so much more nice, so much more relatable, way more diverse than at the other place. I mean, I was the blackest female they had there, the only black female they had there. And I'm biracial, so there was nobody for you know what I mean? Like, and here there's like Indians and Hispanics and me, and you know what I mean? And like, I just feel more, I don't want to get too deep into it, but there's a aura or vibe that certain privileged people give off, whether or not they're conscious of it. It could be something as simple as not walking on the other side of the sidewalk when someone's walking on the same side as you, coming from opposite, like me here, you here. It's something as simple as not doing this. It's something as simple as not saying excuse me. It's little things that I feel like sometimes people who aren't minorities don't necessarily catch on to. or don't know that they're being like a certain way because they're probably this way with their friends who are also like them, because we hang out with people who we can relate to. And I just don't have that. I don't have that attitude and that sense of like entitlement here. So I'm super happy about that. Poor guy. When my last week there, they had hired a kitchen manager. This black gentleman, attractive. And I was, you know, I know I was leaving at that point, but I just feel sorry for him. At least he has other black men to relate to. I had one other girl that was biracial, but there are two different types of biracials. There are the biracials who grew up around black people, and there are the biracials who grew up around white people. And she was the biracial who grew up around white people, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're both black, we're both white. At the end of the day, we're both, you know what I mean? But there's just a difference. And if you are biracial, you know what I'm talking about. There are the biracials who have white friends, and there are the biracials who have black friends. You know what I mean? Like, there's two different sets of people, I feel like. So I have to leave actually fairly soon. Let's get some blush on. Who else is still messaging me? Aside from that, I'm also worried about Oreo, to jump back to my animals. I found this lump on Oreo's chest like a month ago, 2 months ago. And I brought it up at the last vet visit. And she told me how they can do this thing where they like test it and see like, is it cancerous? Is it benign? Is it this? Is it that? And I made the appointment. So the one I went to yesterday is supposed to be the appointment where they were gonna not only give him the allergy shot, but then test his lump to see what it was, to see if it needed to be something that required a treatment. Oh my God. So anyways, I don't want to get makeup on my pants. I'm actually, see, nothing on the shirt, but gets it on the pants. Like, how? So the other day, like last week, I was petting him and I found another lump on him, aside from the lump that he had already had, that I was already educated on. And it got me really emotional because, as you guys know from a previous video I uploaded not too long ago, I can't even say it right now. As you guys know from a video I uploaded not too long ago, my cat Chase passed away. Okay. And it worries me because what if my dog has cancer, right? Or something else just as bad. I can't lose 2 pets in under a year. I will never have pets again if that happens to me. The heartbreak that you feel from an unspoken bond of something that has been around and seen you at your worst and comforts you at your worst and loves you at your best and makes you feel better about yourself. It makes you have another reason to not leave this earth. I can't fathom the pain that I would have in my soul if I lost 2 things I cared about most in this world in under a year. I just can't. I don't have the capacity to be able to cope with that. I don't want to be able to cope with that. And it's something that worries me because I'm already worried because the pain I felt with Chase was unlike any loss that I feel like I have had. You know, we have grandparents pass away and family members pass away, and it is sad and it is, you know, terrible and it's not a good feeling, but they weren't something that you went and chose to take responsibility for. They weren't something that you had to, you know, feed and take care of, like, you know, almost like a baby. Like, these animals rely on me for their well-being, for their I control their quality of life. And there's no feeling worse than having that life that you have spent so much time and money and just everything, poured everything into, just dissipate, just be gone. And I can't handle that again anytime soon. And it worries me because there's definitely a plus side to adopting older animals. There's definitely a pro. And that couple of those pros are your furniture's not going to get destroyed. If you have a dog, they're already potty trained. You don't have to go through the puppy phase. Most of the time they're crate trained. Most of the time they've lived a life, unfortunately, that wasn't that positive, and therefore they're grateful and they act accordingly. And you know, they're more appreciative because it's like a child. They don't have all their memories, but an older person does have, you know, more memories. And so it's kind of a different thing when you adopt elder animals. And I will definitely still recommend adopting elderly animals if you have the finances, if you have the capacity that you're not going to have as much time with them as, you know, like a puppy. And that's why I got a kitten, because I only got a couple years with Chase. I only got 5-6 years with him. And yeah, they were great years for the most part. And we had great memories for the most part. But it's just not enough. It's just not enough time for me. It's just not enough time for me to feel good and for me to get rid of all the what ifs. What if I took him to the vet sooner? What if I had more money? What if I had more time? What if I could have stayed home with him and observed his changes in behavior sooner? Could there have been something that I could have done to prolong the inevitable? You know what I mean? It's just all of these things pop into your head. Well, at least for me. And it makes me feel a certain type of way about myself. It makes me feel like I'm not a good pet parent. I'm not being responsible, which is leading me to probably one of the last things I'm going to talk about here. Rehoming my rabbits. So one of my employees at my store mentioned that he might be wanting to get rabbits. And I mentioned to him that I had rabbits and showed him the photos, and he expressed interest in adopting them. And why I think this could be a good idea is a couple of things. I'm a firm believer in, if you know you can't take responsibility and help these animals with a quality of life, that it is the most selfless thing to rehome them. Give them to a kill shelter? No, but rehome them. I always had a problem though, because I wanted to have them be where I can still make sure they're okay. You know what I mean? My mom was thinking about taking them before, but she realized how big a responsibility it was herself, and she, you know, bowed out, which is fine. Like, I'd rather her. I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to sit and bond with them. And they can't roam free in my house because my dog will try to hunt them and eat them. And I don't hang out with them, really. I feed them in the morning and take care of them, and like, that's it. At this point, I feel like I'm paying another bill, like they're a bill, and I feel bad. I've had these rabbits for like 5-6 years since I was living in Chicago, which you guys can date back. My first videos, I was in Chicago. And so I've had them for a long time, and I haven't bonded with them as much as I want to. Cicely still jumps and like runs away from me if I try to pet her for the most part. And I don't feel like it's fair. It's not fair to them. They deserve somebody who has time, who's not going to be working 60, 70 hours a week. Somebody who can bond with them and hang out with them and pet them and really enjoy. Why is it doing that? Maybe because the spray? It like separated on my eye. Oh, well, that was... I placed that poorly, didn't I? But they just deserve better. And I feel like I'm not giving them what they deserve. I mean, are they fed? Do they have the right balance of pellets, hay, and vegetables? Yes. You know, I'm doing a lot better than some people are, but I'm not doing the best. And it makes me feel bad that the only interaction I have most of the time is me feeding them and changing their water and giving them pellets and giving them hay, and you know, every once in a while touching them, making sure that they're okay, because Cicely has this she sheds so much that sometimes her hair collects by her butt and it like mats. So like she'll get like poop stuck in there and stuff. So I have to like get it out. Otherwise, you know, she's backed up. So I just feel like a little bad for him. And this guy only works like 30 hours a week, 20 hours a week. And he has the time, and he has siblings who would love to hang out with rabbits. And, you know, he seemed to be wanting to be educated on it when I was telling him, you know, not to believe the myth that we all have when we first get that, like the myth that I was told, that all you had to do was give them water and pellets. Like, that's not true. Rabbits are actually way more high maintenance than, like, even my dog. I just feed my dog and walk him. Like, that's it. Rabbits can die 12 hours without water. You know, rabbits could die of a heart attack just because they're scared. Like, there's so much that goes into rabbits that I wasn't aware of when I got them, that I educated myself on, and I am aware that I'm giving them the necessities, but they need other, well, I want them to have. So I'm giving them the necessities, but I want them to have more. You know what I mean? I want them to have a life where they feel comfortable around the humans that have them. And I want them to feel like they're loved and appreciated. And I want that for them. And unfortunately, I just feel like I don't have the time to give that to them. And because they're not free range, I often forget when I come home to like even say hi to them. And that's not fair. And I know it's not fun. And so when I come back from my trip, the rabbits might be getting rehomed and going to hopefully a better place. I already told him that if it didn't work out, I would take them back. I'm going to give him everything he needs. I've already told him about how he needs to educate himself and helping him educate himself on all that entails of having a rabbit, and told him to look this stuff up and told him everything, and then said, hey, here's the information. Now make the choice if you still want them. And he still does. So I might do that and have more space to bring. Right now my workout stuff is all in my living room, and I just feel like it's an eyesore, but I have nowhere else to put it. So I might put that in here with them gone, and then I might get something smaller, like a hamster or something, because I still love rodents. Well, rabbits technically aren't rodents, but I still love smaller animals and would still love to take care of smaller caged animals. But I just feel like rabbits are a bit much. Even I feel like maybe, I was thinking guinea pigs, but now I'm feeling like maybe even guinea pigs might be a bit much. I'm thinking more along the lines of rabbits. I mean, more along the lines of hamsters, miniature hamsters, rats. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Mom. Okay, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there real soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Yeah, I get carried away. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm going to line my lips with a Juvia's Place lip liner. So yeah. After much consideration, that's what I came to the conclusion of. This is the sloppiest lip liner I've ever been a part of. So anyways, the problem, I forgot to go back to the vet story. So the thing about the vet was we couldn't find his second lump. I found another lump on him. So I got like emotional because I'm like, damn, 2 lumps? Like there's something was going on. And a couple days before the vet visit, I couldn't find the lumps. Well, the second lump. I still have the first one. And the vet couldn't find it either. So when I come back, she's gonna double check. She did say that sometimes they leave, so But yeah, that was it for my little chit chat. Get ready with me. It was, well, it was not a little one. It was a big one, and it's probably like an hour long, and I apologize. But I just haven't caught up with you guys in a while. I just want to let you guys know what was going on. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like my face or like my trashy hair. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.